Every story carries a truth. Some will chill your blood, others will warm your soul. Tonight, we travel through both. Sometimes, your worst nightmare becomes someone else's miracle. In 1979, a man named David Booth began having the same dream every night for 10 days straight. He saw a commercial airplane taking off one of its engines, exploding in mid. He could even describe the type of aircraft, the sound of the engine, the angle of descent. Disturbed, he contacted the FAA, the U.S. Aviation Authority. They took notes, but what could they do? It was just a dream. On May 25, 1979, Flight 191 took off from Chicago O'Hare Airport. Minutes later, its left engine detached, causing the plane to crash and kill all 273 people on board. The aircraft, the exact same model David had seen in his dreams. Psychologists called it coincidence. Others called it prophecy. David Booth stopped talking about his dreams after that. He never dreamed the same way again. Maybe some people don't dream of the future. Maybe the future dreams through them. She was sentenced for life, but her art set her free. Cecilia Jimenez was a convicted prisoner in Argentina. At 19, she made a terrible mistake. An armed robbery gone wrong. She spent years in silence, until one day, a volunteer brought paint and canvas to the prison. Cecilia had never painted before, but once she started, she couldn't stop. Her portraits, raw, emotional, full of pain and hope, started getting noticed. Local galleries asked to exhibit them, calling her the painter of lost souls. Soon after, journalists wrote about her, and she became a national symbol of redemption. After 20 years, she received a pardon for good behavior and rehabilitation through art. Today, she runs an art school for at-risk youth, teaching others that expression can rewrite destiny. Some people escape prison with a key, others escape with a brush. The Dyatlov Pass incident, Russia, 1959-9. Hikers entered the snow. None ever returned alive. In February 1959, 9 experienced hikers set out on an expedition through the frozen Ural Mountains in Russia. They never came back. When rescuers found their camp, the tent was torn open from the inside. Shoeless footprints led into the snow. Some of the bodies were half-dressed. Others had internal injuries that defied explanation: crushed bones, radiation traces, and missing eyes. The official cause, unknown compelling force. Decades later, theories still divide experts. Avalanche, secret weapons testing, even UFOs. But one detail remains. All of their watches had stopped at the exact same time. 5:31 a.m. Maybe the truth didn't freeze with them. Maybe it was buried and still waiting to be found. The girl who built her own school, she didn't wait for change. She built it. In rural Nepal, a 14-year-old girl named Suma grew up where girls were expected to marry before 16. But she wanted something else. Education. There was no school nearby, no teachers willing to come. So, she started teaching children under a tree with old notebooks and chalk. Within months, other girls joined her. Villagers noticed. Donations arrived. By 18, she had founded a small school with the help of volunteers and local builders. Today, the tree school stands as a real building with over 200 students. Suma became its first head teacher. You don't need permission to change the world, just courage to start. The mystery of the Pollock twins. Can memories survive death? In 1957, twin girls Jennifer and Gillian Pollock were born in England. Their parents had lost 2 daughters in a car accident the year before. When the twins grew old enough to speak, they started recognizing places they'd never been, and toys that had belonged to their dead sisters. One day, they pointed to an old house and said, "That's where we used to live." But they had never been there. Psychologists called it coincidence. But as the years went by, their memories of their sisters' lives slowly faded, as if they were living 2 lives in one. Maybe death isn't an ending, just a reset. The blind photographer who captured the world, he couldn't see the world, so he learned to feel it. Pete Eckert lost his sight completely in his 30s. due to retinitis pigmentosa. But instead of giving up photography, he reinvented it. Using long exposure, sound cues, and touch, Pete began taking hauntingly beautiful photos that captured emotion rather than vision. He says he sees through memory, recalling where light and shadow should fall. His work is now featured in galleries across the world, proving that sight isn't the only way to see. The eyes are useless when the mind has no vision. The village that disappeared overnight. One night it was full of life. The next morning, it was gone. In 1930, a fur trader named Joe LaBelle visited an Inuit village near Lake Injikuni in Canada. He expected to find his friends, dozens of hunters and families. But when he arrived, the place was silent. Fires still burned. Food was still cooking. Every hut was empty. Hundreds of people had vanished without a trace. No footprints, no signs of struggle, no bodies. Even the dogs were found frozen, still tied up, untouched. To this day, no explanation has ever been confirmed. Some say it was migration. Others whisper something else came for them that night. The scariest mysteries are the ones that erase an entire story, not just the people in it. From the man who dreamed the future, to the woman who painted her freedom. From children reborn, to villages that vanished. Each story reminds us that life is fragile, mysterious, and unstoppable. That no matter what happens, the human spirit always finds a way to leave its mark. Every story you've heard tonight hides a lesson. A reminder that life is stranger, deeper, and far more beautiful than we imagine. If these stories moved you, hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe for more. Because every week, we uncover new tales that remind us how fragile and extraordinary being human can be. And if you believe that love, like life, can take infinite forms, you'll love this book, Multiverse of Love, a collection of short stories set across different universes, where love happens in the most unexpected ways. It's not just another book. It's a journey through emotions you didn't know existed.